Hello and welcome everyone to this month's webinar brought to you by Consolidated Credit. The title of our webinar today is Making It Big in the Gig Economy. Your side gig can be more than a job. It can be an investment, excuse me. There are only two ways to live a debt-free and stressful life. One is to spend less. The other is to earn more. Usually, we tell you how to save money you already have. Today, let's talk about bringing in a little extra without using up all your free time. After all, you work hard so you can enjoy the rest of your life. Working a little extra without a whole lot of extra work means one thing: dipping your toe into the gig economy. It's a perfect hedge against inflation, and it's a great way to save for almost anything. So, what exactly is the gig economy? Hard to say since there's no official definition. But typically, when someone mentions the gig economy, what they're really talking about is what's missing: full time employment. That includes part timers, contractors, freelancers, and entrepreneurs. What's the difference among all those? Just like the term gig economy, it's hard to say, but let's give you some basic definitions. Part timers can work as little as a few hours a week and as many as 34 by law. After that, then you must be hired full time. Part timers work for one place on a regular schedule and can receive limited benefits. Independent contractors and freelancers are descriptions that are often used interchangeably. But one handy definition is that contractors indeed have a contract, whether it's for one project, for one week, or a bunch of work over an entire year. They're guaranteed to get paid from a single employer. Freelancers also work by the project, but it can be a much less formal agreement, and they can work for many different clients at once. Entrepreneurs cover everything from a teen starting a lawn service to a mom starting a babysitting service to a tech guru launching the next Amazon or Google. Whatever they do and however they do it, these gig economy jobs have become very popular. How popular? Back in 2005, the federal government did a study and concluded that the gig economy accounted for roughly 2 to 4% of all workers. Today, it's well over a third. A total of 35% of all workers in this country are making money by not working in traditional full time jobs. That's 57 million people, and they contribute almost $1 trillion to the economy every year. Just about 3 in 10 workers in the gig economy use it as their primary source of income. In other words, they don't have full time jobs, either by choice or because they were laid off, fired, or downsized. But the other 6 in 10 use the gig economy for what's called side gigs. That's the part of the gig economy we're going to focus on today because it's a great way to get out of debt and to stay out. If you already have steady work, whether it's full time or otherwise, let's start talking about side gigs that can bring you in a little extra. Let's start the discussion with the easiest extra work you can get. That's picking up a few shifts at a nearby retail outlet. Whether it's flipping burgers, folding sweaters, or bagging groceries, you might not make more than minimum wage, but you'll ease into the gig economy. Best of all, the shifts you'll seek, nights and weekends, are the ones that managers often have the biggest problem filling. If you're not sure how to get started in side gigs, this is the easiest start. If you have skills that can be done virtually, like writing, designing, or coding, then you might be able to find work online. Some of the more popular sites to search are Upwork, Guru, People Per Hour, and freelance.com. The downside is that the work listed on these sites is quite competitive. Still, it's good to just see what your options are, and you can always pursue the same kind of work locally. While the pandemic has altered the rules for many school districts, most need a stable of substitute teachers. According to the job site ZipRecruiter, hourly pay for substitute teachers range from $10.65 an hour in Mississippi to nearly $16 an hour in Massachusetts. You'll need a high school diploma, and some states require a special test to get a license. Check your state's requirements, but you can also tutor privately. Like we mentioned, you can advertise for free on social media and nextdoor.com, but check out these websites specifically for tutors. That's Wisent, Tutor Matching Service, and Knowledge Roundtable. These are three of the biggest, but there are many more. Now, speaking of local work, if you're wondering what you can do to make a few bucks, look at yourself first. Do you know a second language? Are you seriously into yoga? Are you proficient at piano? You might be able to teach those skills to others for a fee. That also goes for skills like bookkeeping and public relations. If you possess a skill others would be willing to pay for, you can post those to your social media with your church or a place of worship, or log into nextdoor.com if you haven't already. That neighborhood site is perfect for listing local opportunities. What if you don't know a second language or have a unique talent? What if teaching just isn't for you? Well, you can still find work if you're a friendly soul and a hard worker. Now we're talking about dog walking, personal assistance, and childcare and janitorial help. You can advertise locally, like we've been talking about, using social media and Nextdoor. But you can also check out websites like care.com, dogwalker.com, and taskrabbit.com, among many others. You can not only list your services, but they also offer helpful advice for making the most of your time and the most money. Now, let's spend a moment talking about side gigs you've probably heard of, and you might think they're an easy way to make money. First, there's Uber and Lyft. These are indeed good and legitimate side gigs, but it's not as easy as just signing up to chauffeur people or deliver food. There are minimum requirements and a screening process. So check out Uber and Lyft's websites first and read up on what you'll need to do. Same thing goes with medical billing from home. The legitimate jobs, and we'll talk about the scams in a moment, but the legitimate jobs require training and testing. As for direct sales like makeup or vitamins you sell to friends and family, these are definitely harder than they look. You really need to study up and do some math. Will you make money or end up buying a closet full of products that you can't sell? For everything I just mentioned, there are also scammers out there who want to take your money. Don't sign up for any driving services that you don't first research very thoroughly. Be wary of medical billing operations that want you to pay for pricey courses up front. And avoid multi level marketing firms that urge you to make money by signing up more sellers instead of actually selling the product. Finally, don't fall for these three scams. You can't make money taking online surveys, being a mystery shopper, or stuffing envelopes. In all those cases, you'll either have to spend money to get involved, or you'll make so little it won't be worth your time. So, how can you tell the scams from the legitimate offers? Luckily, there are websites that can help. Start with the Better Business Bureau and see if the company is listed there. Search online reviews from sites like trustpilot.com and consumeraffairs.com. And don't forget to check out the company's own website. If there's no about page, or if it doesn't list a complete corporate history and names of its leaders, it might not pass your smell test. Think of it this way: you wouldn't spend thousands of dollars without researching the product or service you want to buy. Do the same thing with the money you want to earn. Okay, we've saved the most boring for last. How will your earnings from your side or full time gig affect your taxes? First off, you might need to fill out a different tax form than you're used to. W 2 forms are used for full time, part time, and seasonal employees. Any work outside of that is considered an independent contractor, and your client slash gig platform will likely have you fill out a 1099 instead. When it comes time to filing, a common misconception is that you don't need to tell the IRS about your earnings if you make less than $600 a year from one employer. Not true. You'll need to report any money earned from gig work, no matter how much you earn. Another difference is that if your net profits are more than $400, you'll need to submit an additional tax form called the 1040 Schedule SE. It's not one of the standard forms included in most free online tax preparation services. So, if that's how you usually prepare your taxes, Any side gig or contract work means you'll need to pay to file. The average credit card interest rate fluctuates, um, but as of recently, it was hovering close to 20%. That means for every $5 you charge, you're paying $1 to your credit card company for the privilege of carrying a balance. Imagine how much you'll save if you pay off all your balances. That's where your first side gig cash should go. Once you pay off those steep balances, you'll not only keep making money, you'll have freed up a bunch to do other things with. What things? Well, in the Great Recession, the COVID pandemic, and inflation have taught us anything is that anything can happen and that anything can happen at any time. Even so, polls show less than half of Americans have $1,000 saved up for emergencies. To cover their bills, many have run up their credit cards, and we just discussed why that's a bad idea. So start funneling your side gig earnings into a savings account for future emergencies. According to several polls, Americans in their 30s have around $40,000 saved for retirement. By the time they're in their 60s, they'll need almost $1 million. That's scary, right? Well, that's why saving now for retirement is so important. Upping those 401k and IRA balances as soon as possible means you have more time to earn interest on that money. So, once you've paid off your credit cards and set aside or set up an emergency fund, make sure to sock the rest away for retirement. We haven't even touched on the evolution of side gigs as technology makes it possible to do side gigs from your cell phone. It's quite likely that a few months from now, there will be additional side gigs that embrace technology we can't even guess at. So, even if you don't think the gig economy is for you today, you might change your mind tomorrow when there are exciting new possibilities. When you total up what your side gig has made you, don't forget to include what it saved you. Okay. Remember, when you're working more, you're spending less. Your time is occupied with money making, which leaves no time for shopping out of boredom or stress. So don't forget to include that benefit to your side gig. Basically, you're spending time making money instead of spending money wasting time. So I know that was rather quick, but this is the end of our presentation. But it's really just the beginning for you. If you need more advice on making money or saving it, of course, we're here for you. You can call or email us anytime. And as usual, before we end the webinar officially, Consolidated Credit may be able to help you save money and get out of debt faster than you can on your own. Our licensed and trained credit counselors will provide you with a free budget analysis. We work with your creditors to lower your interest rates and eliminate fees while we consolidate your credit card debt into one low monthly payment. If you would like more information, please give us a call. The number's there on your screen, 1-800-210-3481. We also invite you to visit our website at www.consolidatedcredit.org and to peruse the site to see other self help books and things that may be able to assist you in your financial journey. Lastly, if you have not, I'm going to give you time to go to the handout section of this webinar to retrieve the resources we have there for you. Okay, we have a few resources that we have put into the handout section. You may take the opportunity to either print them or download them, whichever you prefer. Lastly, definitely lastly, should you have any questions, feel free to email us at fined@consolidatedcredit.org. Okay, thank you for attending this month's and today's webinar. We look forward to you joining us for future webinar productions. May the rest of your day be the best of your day. Again, thank you for joining us. Have a great day.